2024 Isuzu-D-Max vs 2024 Toyota Hilux comparison details. Isuzu, in one form or another, is Japan's oldest automaker. So, it shouldn't be surprising the brand sits so far up the Australian sales charts. But its success remains surprising because the local lineup consists of only two passenger cars, the MUX SUV and D-Max Uda. The off-road space is now the most tightly contested in Australia, with droves of buyers looking to get into a dual cab, and with hot competition like the shiny new Ford Ranger and ever-popular Toyota Hilux. How is it Isuzu manages to maintain such a position at the forefront of buyers' minds? To find out, I took a D-Max for a spin outside of its Australian comfort zone in New Zealand's snowy Otago region. Toyota's new Hilux variant is the biggest, meanest, most powerful diesel version ever delivered from the factory. It was developed primarily in Australia and manages to come in at a more affordable price point than Ford's new Ranger Raptor. It's the HiLux-GR-Sport, the new halo variant for the Hilux range, and while it might catch your eye immediately thanks to its aggressive Dakar-inspired styling in an environment with more factory-backed off-road modified utes than ever before, can this Hilux possibly live up to expectations? We drove it at its Australian launch on and off-road to find out if it has the same tough off-highway prowess which has made utes like the Ranger Raptor, Mitsubishi Triton Extreme, and Nissan Navara Pro 4X such hits. Deep dive comparison. Verdict: unquestionably rugged, capable, and surprisingly comfortable, the D-Max is the quintessence of the modern Uda formula. Almost everything you need, with none of the things you don't. While it's still missing a handful of bells and whistles compared to some of its notable rivals, it's easy to see why this Japanese stalwart punches above its weight in the Aussie and New Zealand sales charts. Everything counted for, this one, LS in NZ, LSU in Australia, is even my pick of the range, though I'd be tempted to splash for the extra rain, or at least the optional heated seats, if I lived on NZ's icy South Island. Here's the thing. There's enough of the Hilux base Uda in this GR Sport version that if you weren't already a fan, you might not be converted. It's certainly no Ranger Raptor, but that doesn't mean it's not the most capable Hilux you can buy from the factory, and it's definitely a whole lot of fun. There's also something to be said for dialing up the ability while maintaining a respectable towing and payload capacity. If you are looking for a Hilux with that next level off-road ability, then you've got the perfect truck here, but whether it will incite the same enthusiasm as new Ranger or reworked Navara Pro 4X this late in its life cycle remains to be seen. Design. The D-Max backs its rugged reputation with tough looks, which have been brought up to a more contemporary style for this latest generation. The signature Isuzu Kabuto grille brings with it instant recognition of the brand's industrial robustness, as also worn by its medium and heavy-duty trucks. A strong bodyline featuring a new geometric theme for the brand, light fittings and all, looks ready to rumble, and combines nicely with the high ride height, thick tires, and big wheel arches to sell the idea of this truck's off-road prowess. One thing I might like the most about the overall guise is how it avoids being delicate. This D-Max continues the simple panel work which looks as though it's ready to be coated in mud and not easily damaged. Little touches like this help the interior feel more consistent and thoughtfully designed than the previous and decidedly industrial feeling D-Max. So props to the brand for including it. It's also much more comfortable than the previous D-Max, with a more generous application of soft-touch surfaces, welcoming seats clad in tough cloth material, and in this grade, carpet floors. Ours had thick rubber floor mats to help protect the carpet beneath, but lower grades give vinyl flooring for all your agricultural adventures. Overall, I like it. There's just enough luxury and modern features in the cabin for it to be very livable, while maintaining an honest, practical feel. It's ugly, but in the best possible way. All the hodgepodge aggression of the Dakar Hilux, which inspired the GR-Sport, is well communicated and packaged up into something as ready for the road as it is climbing rocks or powering through sand. Up front, detailing in the grille isn't just limited to the Toyota typeface or contrast black aesthetic, but upon closer inspection you'll see the grille elements are little G shapes for GR. Below, the bash plate has also been designed with the same look and feel as the Dakar truck which inspired it, and the functional bumper piece accentuates the additional width. Down the side, the GR-Sport has an almost Coke bottle shape, as it retains its standard width between the flared arches front and rear. Similarly, the steering wheel has received a GR-themed overhaul with leather cladding. The instrument cluster has been tweaked with a silver theme, and the headlining is black. The Hilux's interior is feeling a bit old by modern UTA standards, especially since more recent arrivals in this space, like the Amarok, Ranger, incoming new Triton, and even D-Max, feel fresher. The overall vibe is more function over form, and there's something to be said for that. It doesn't exactly revolutionize the Hilux formula, so if you didn't like the look before, this rally truck version might not appeal to you as much as the more refined Americanized Ranger, for example. Practicality. On the topic of practicality, this D-Max has a useful and spacious cabin. For what it's worth, I like the cloth seat trim available on this grade, which strikes me as hard-wearing and easy to clean. The seats are also wide and have significant padding and bolstering so you're comfortable and don't get thrown around too much. The wheel is reach and height adjustable, while the seats manually slide back and forward but have electric adjust for lumbar. Many who use this truck for adventure or agricultural applications will prefer a manually sliding seat, so I see this as fair. It was easy for me to find my own driving position, and I had very good visibility over the bonnet, out the rear window, and down the side, with generous wing mirrors, which, no doubt, will also come in handy when towing. The tie-down anchor points are also located high on the sides, with none in the base of the tray, which was frustrating as I couldn't hockey strap my ski equipment down, although I could fit my 172 centimeters long skis in there on an angle. The tailgate scores a soft open piston, which is nice. You won't have to pay extra for a tow receiver though, as it comes standard on this grade. Again, the D-Max is also missing a few tricks found standard on rivals, like the Ranger's tray side steps. Still, aftermarket support for D-Max tray accessories remains strong. Tray dimensions come in at 1,570 mm long, 1,530 mm wide, and 490 mm deep, with 1,122 mm between the wheel arches. Practicality is the name of the game here when it comes to clearances and the design of the body. The HiLux-GR-Sport has a 30-degree approach angle, a 23-degree departure angle, and 265 mm of ground clearance to go with its 15 mm raise. Other benefits include enhanced underbody protection in the event that you manage to find ruts deep enough to bottom out on, and the side rails will help protect the body when dealing with hairy conditions off-road. It's a good deal that the tow gear comes standard, and while the tray seems pretty bare, the lack of a sports bar improves rear visibility. The tray is standard Hilux fare. The cabin is much the same. There's a bottle holder and map pocket in the door, dual bottle holders in the center console,